Hello and welcome to the Lunar Bridge. I am Lugbazurg, the very varied guy, but also the man in the moon. I'm trying some new things here. New time for now. This time with an actual moon out, apparently. Trying with some new people here. Try as we're all trying new things all around here. So, I suppose first off, let's take a look and see who we've got some synergy here with Jared of Frost Comics.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, well, I suppose we've got some similar goals aligning. Is that gonna make us rivals now? I don't know. I just started looking into what you got, and I'm seeing a lot of interesting variety here.
Well, if we are rivals, I want it to be like that kind of anime rivalry where we're kind of in love, but like not really, but kind of. That's the rivalry I'm really going for.
But also, let's see. It's interesting to bring things kind of full circle here with it's probably the first person I really streamed with.
Nice.
We got Hero Geek here of Paragon Prime fame.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Man, this is a big switcheroo. Way back when I was just this teeny tiny little no one who got you just took a chance on all this time, and now you're here.
You and I go way back. That's for sure. Yeah. How's it going?
Whew. Well,
Jared,
I guess
Jared and I are good friends too. I've known Jared for a while too. He's a good buddy. So
Thank you.
yeah. So yeah, sorry
Deathwish,
about
if you're
the
still
issue.
in the chat, how's it going?
Oh man,
Am I in the chat?
what? She's gonna poke me again? Oh no.
I just hope she stuck around to keep poking. Please poke away. We had some technical difficulties we were working through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose a major thing with all this this whole Iron Age, whatever you want to call it, whatever label you want to use, if you don't want to use any kinds of labels at all, that's an option too. Seems like it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. There's a lot of comics coming out of it. I know there's a lot of comics that I've backed that are labeled as Iron Age, and I mean a lot of it looks really really great. So yeah, I'm into it. I backed several comics that use that label, and I'm excited for a lot of them.
Yeah, I wonder well, I guess what's certainly getting plenty of attention is the stuff that's just very specifically for us. But I definitely remember I've been gradually seeing more of kind of a call for more all ages content as well in various forms.
Yeah,
It's like if you're getting sick of what
I've been kind of. Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, like if you're not really able to trust what Hollywood's outputting, then what are you prepared to do about it?
Yeah, I've been kind of one of the loudest voices when it comes to that. That's for sure. Um, I've kind of like been like with my creation with what I'm doing, I've kind of like been trying to get more people. Like I think there's a stigma that comes when people hear all ages. People hear that term, that phrase, and they automatically think, "Oh, it's for little kids," right?
I feel that.
And like I don't know, would you guys call Batman the anime series for little kids? No, right?
I mean, well, elaborate more. What do you, when you say for, like they made it specifically to appeal to kids, or they made it so that it could appeal to as the broadest audience possible?
Yeah, they did. right? But people have this stigma when they hear the term all ages, and in their minds they're thinking like preschool shows or something. I don't know. X-Men the animated series, the '90s show. That's really sophisticated show with incredibly sophisticated writing. Same thing with Batman the animated series, right? Really mature, sophisticated writing. But a little kid can, a 9, 8-year-old kid can enjoy it, but as an adult, you can enjoy it too. I still watch those shows, and I still enjoy them genuinely. Hello?
All right.
I'm here.
Oh,
I just didn't know. I was kind of letting the host control the conversation here.
Yeah, and I guess I just try not to interrupt anyone. But yeah, I guess like even with
Okay.
like me, I guess I've been kind of like on again, off again, making my way through the good old 2003 Ninja Turtles. I've
That's
been just
I
kind of
love the show.
yeah, like that's. I remember
Yeah.
being aware of it as a kid. I didn't catch much of it at the time when it aired. Now looking back, and like, this actually has held up pretty well. I love
Very.
how I love just how imaginative it is with all the most just insane things happening right under everyone's noses. Like, dang, I really wish I could have gotten more into this when it was airing. Whew.
Oh, I was into it as it aired. I was all for the 03 TMNT. I recently got the DVD, the box set that they came out with about a month or two ago. Yeah, that's another great sophisticated show that had, it was pretty matured. It got pretty dark, right? But I mean, little kids can enjoy it too. So I want to kind of bring back that mentality when it comes to comic books.
So I'm curious, what makes you guys say? I don't necessarily disagree with you, but like when you say
Mhm.
that there's a lack of that content with, and you specifically said Iron Age, but like, do you like what makes you say that there's a lack of that content right now? Like, do you like you don't see anything like that, or like you do? Like,
I
what
see
leads you
very
to
little.
that conclusion?
Pretty
I
much,
see very
yeah.
little.
And I guess there's a lot of the momentum from that is, I guess, due to people just finally able to break out of the chains, so to speak. So they're just going nuts with everything they've wanted to see all along or have always wanted to do. Which, yeah, that makes sense. So a lot of people are just going with that. Isn't exactly a bad thing per se. But yeah, I have been noticing more of an uptick in people asking for more of this kind of asking for more all ages content, and like people talking about seeing all kinds of cool Iron Age comics and stuff that they're able to enjoy, but they can't exactly but they're having a hard time finding any that they can actually give to their kids.
So
That's kind of
what I want to zero in on them, like, so Ron, you don't
Hmm.
you don't only consume content that's all ages, but you primarily consume content that's all ages, right?
Right, yeah, I do consume, more mature stuff. Um, but I prefer something more all ages. That's my preference.
Right.
You
So
know.
like that's why I say primarily. Like if you have a choice, that
Right.
would be your default. You defer to that. So what I'm
Yes.
curious is like, so since that's primarily what you consume, are you saying that like there's just not much stuff that you've seen that you think meets that, or is it stuff that, well, you don't like the art direction, it might fit but then it doesn't meet you specifically? Because I'm wondering how much have you seen, because I've seen you talk about stuff like Shadow Sentry. I don't know anything about that. Is that something that's like all ages, or what have you come across, and what makes you think people are hesitant to adapt it, I guess, like to explore the topic a little bit more?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have an answer for that. Jared always has the best questions that make me think.
Well, I did study journalism, so I can ask
Yeah,
decent questions
yeah.
sometimes. But then I
Jared has
decided
this-
I didn't want to be a lackey for the feds, so I pursued a different career.
Jared has this the ability to challenge my mind, and sometimes it's annoying, but I always appreciate it.
Well, if I'm not annoying people,
Um,
right? What's the point of being online, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
that's why you do it. Right. Well, I mean, I'll admit, I have seen recently. I've seen a lot of at least T-rated PG-13 content, which is,
Mhm.
I would say Shadow Sentry is that. Vigilante's Creed is like that.
I know that you've
a
been
lot-
like really high on Rebound, and Rebound looks like that, right?
Rebound.
I haven't seen
Rebound.
that coming up quite a bit. I had to look into more of that.
Yeah, the art looks really
That's
good.
very much inspired by like 80s and early 90s Spider-Man comics.
Yeah.
That looks great too. Let's see, Genuine Comics with his American Bliss comic looks amazing. So yeah. So I mean, there is a lot more of that now than there was before.
Mhm.
Well, how long ago would have been before?
That's a good question.
How long ago? Let's see, about when I guess when the whole when it first started, like the whole movement started. Like I was seeing a lot of like really adult, like okay. Let me see if I can think.
I guess what kept popping up, and I still know nothing about, something like Gem Shock. Like I just keep seeing the
Yeah.
same
Hasn't that
cover
made like
popping up again and again. I'm like,
$60 at this point.
I still have no idea what this is. I just know what the main character looks like.
I know it's titties.
that's
and
about it.
Okay, for example,
Yeah.
there was. Okay, remember the comic? I know, Jerry, you remember this. The Superiors, remember that?
Yes.
You
Seen
had
that.
mentioned it, right? So
Mhm.
at first glance, it looks like your standard traditional superhero comic, right?
Yeah. Looks like
So I went to
classic 90s.
Yeah, a classic 90s superhero comic. So I went to the campaign page, and I saw a panel where apparently it's some evil version of their Superman analog came to that universe and killed like their version of the Justice League or something like that. Um, and in one panel, he's like slicing up one like the speedster character, and it's pretty graphic. And that kind of shocked me. I'm like, whoa, okay. Well, I didn't know it was that kind of comic. I mean, it's not invincible levels of gore, because that's really out there.
Yeah.
But it kind of took me back. I'm like, well, but wait a second. Like, why does it have to be like that, right? So that kind of shocked me. Like, whoa, okay. I remember one of the comics that I did not enjoy very much was Graveyard Shift, right? Now with that campaign, they had no indication of what the content was going to be like. I suspected it's going to be PG-13 T-rated, right? Because of the subject matter and the story. I kind of figured that's what it was, but well, we won't talk about it much. But something in that comic like just completely turned me off, and it's like, whoa, did they have to go there? I don't think they did. So I suppose I'm also asking for more transparency from creators about what the content rating for their comic is.
Yeah, I do seem
Does
to
that make
see
sense?
that pretty commonly on just graphic novels already out there. It is something that doesn't seem to come up in this space quite as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that creators maybe need to be a little more clear. I mean, there are campaigns that it's pretty obvious, like what it is. Like, okay,
Like the ones
fine.
where there's just boobs out and little stars over the bits. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty obvious. Like, okay, well, this is not for me.
Hey,
For better or
Deathwish, you're
for
still here.
worse, knowing how
Nice
to
to see you.
market clearly.
And I'm not saying there isn't room for that. I mean, more power to you if you can get it funded. If people like it, that's all you. That's great, but it's not something that I enjoy on a personally. That's not something I enjoy, right?
So to touch on so Deathwish, to touch on her point, is an Iron Age and CG overall adult, and how many have very young kids. So the interesting thing about that I was thinking about coming into the conversation tonight was so A Drink with Crazy, Royce from A Drink with Crazy, he is a father of
Mhm.
4 or 5, so he's got kids, and he said before that he had kids young, so his kids are coming up into that kind of adolescent teenage period, and he doesn't care, like Ron has said, if there are like boobs out, it doesn't really offend his sensibilities, but he doesn't want to go and stick in front of his kids. And so that's like on the one hand, right? And then I was reading some comments and stuff kind of around the same topic, and I saw somebody else say, in the Fun My Comic Discord, actually, there's a conversation about this a little while back, and someone said, well, every time that I've tried to stick anything in front of my kids or make a suggestion to them or get something that I think that they would like or I think is appropriate for them, they don't care. And they don't care because the way that kids find things that they like isn't from adult recommendations or anything like that. They find stuff that they like by watching YouTube or whatever, or seeing ads for, like, when they're watching Minecraft Let's Plays or whatever, and then something will come on, and that's how they find an interest in it. And I
Like the thrill of the hunt.
right. So I thought that was an interesting point, right? Because like, if you go back to when you were a kid, it's not like we had anyone who's like, I didn't have anyone sit me down and say, hey, watch this thing about Ninja Turtles. Like, I was watching Saturday morning cartoons, Ninja Turtles came on, I'm like, oh my god, Ninja Turtles is like the coolest thing ever. So it's not like someone really went out of their way to get me into it. I found it on its own. So what's my point? The thing that's interesting about where we don't have that luxury, right? There's no Saturday morning cartoon shows from anyone in our group yet. There's no, there's really barely any animation from anyone in CG or Iron Age or anything like that. There's really no one that's providing that yet. And not for lack of passion or interest, it's freaking expensive to make cartoons. You need animators, you need lots of animators, you need time, you need money, you need voice acting, you need all this stuff that just we don't have an infrastructure for yet, right? So we don't have that. We don't have that advantage. We don't have the advantage of even, we can't really even market to kids, right? Because, like, we have to crowdfund everything that we do. We have to raise money for it in most cases, unless you're just like Eric July and you can be like, yeah, I just dropped 200 grand of my own money. Well, there you go. I don't have 200 grand of my own money to drop into my book, right? So I have to, like, scrimp and save, and then eventually I'm going to have to do some crowdfunding, right? So crowdfunding, if we're going to do that, it's not like we can, say, hey kids, come on over to Kickstarter and, throw down your allowance. We can't really do that. So we have to rely on parents that are opening their wallets to back our stuff. So then you get back right where we started, where you got one hand, you've got someone like Royce who's like, I need to find something for my kids. And then the other hand, you've got parents who are like, my kids don't care whenever I give it to them. And I have no idea how we square that circle, how we make that, like, come together and fit it. Because, like, I'm not pro or anti anything, whatever. If people want to read it or watch it or whatever, then they will, and more power to them. So I think if there's people who really want all ages content, and I think there are people who do want that, they'll find it. But, like, how do you get it in front of them, and how do you appeal to their kids through them, are really complicated questions that I think require people smarter than me to answer.
Yeah, because we've just barely got top dogs like ISOM and Common America just slightly dipping their toes into animation,
right?
Not much else.
Just a little bit,
Just a little bit, yeah. And the thing is, though, like, I love Common America. It's one of my favorites. I'm waiting for
Love
my
that.
my Omnibus Volume 2 on that, and it's great.
Oh yeah.
It's not afraid to be sexy or anything, but I wouldn't call it adult, not by any means. Oh, you got this. Is that a statue, or is that the the clear
Yeah, that's the
plastic.
Carly statue. I've got
They're
Common
coming out
Ramen,
with
but she's
an
still
action
back.
figure,
She's still
right?
boxed up.
I'm jealous. They're coming out with an action figure, right?
Yeah, they are. I'm probably gonna
Ooh.
buy it.
I think
Oh man,
depending on how much
they'd
it
better
costs,
be
I think I'm gonna buy that.
they'd better be getting like some kind of 90s 2000s style toy commercial for it.
That would be so cool. Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great. But yeah,
I'll edit it.
you
I'll
are
edit
exactly
it.
correct, Deathwish. The attention is very fleeting. It's very
Yeah,
fleeting,
it
and
is
it's very much
stalking,
determined by
but-
their friends.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, okay, so it maybe not just for kids, but maybe for people like me who kind of have more sensitive sensibilities, and they don't want to see certain things in their comics, and I think there's room for both. I mean,
Sure.
right?
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying. I've got some variety of works in the works. Got a
Mhm.
few issues of a script written for something more mature, but then next up is something more episodic, all ages stuff. And even like even on the video game side of things, I also have been doing some game dev work in the background. And yeah, one of my
What's
top
up, Ojo?
projects I've wanted to work on for ages is in this kind of field, where
Oh, that's
I
cool.
just want to be able to make something more like E10 sci-fi action that's relatively serious enough that bit in line with stuff that I was loving, like Buzz Lightyear of Star Command at the time.
Yeah, that's a great show. I love that show, actually.
Shout
But-
out to
but
Ojo,
yeah, so, I mean-
representing Mythicals. Mythicals number 2 signups going on now.
Hello, Hojo. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like comics that are aggressively mature as far as like violence and sexual content and explicit language.
And so you feel like that's like, but you feel like that dominates what you're seeing from Iron Age creators.
Yeah, kind of.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean by kind of?
Well, I mean, a lot of the projects I see are very very adult with a lot of violence. Although I will admit, I am seeing more even stuff. A clear example, like I want to mention again, is Vigilante's Creed. Right now, on
Yeah.
the surface, and I'm glad that I reached out to the creator of that comic, because on the surface, that appears to be your typical ultra-violent anti-hero kind of thing, right? It appears that way. But instead of making any assumptions or anything like that, I private messaged the creator of that comic and I asked him some questions about what the content was, and he assured me, well, it's just mostly T-rated, PG-13. There's nothing horrible, not a lot of gratuitous violence or sexuality or anything like that. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. I like that. And based on what he said, I do plan to back that comic on Fund My Comics. So, and I noticed that on at least in Fund My Comic, the campaigns that I've taken a close look at, the creators make sure that they communicate what the content rating of the comic is. Chrome Dog is another one that did that. Data Cell is one that did that as well. Immortal Rising was one that did that as well. You guys over at Out of Obscurity, you guys make sure, even in I saw one of the live streams you were on, where all most of you were on, And
Yeah,
you
we had a big powwow.
pretty much, made it clear what the content rating of out of obscurity is. I'm like, oh well, that's
Yeah.
great. That sounds awesome. Like that's something I want to check out. So I am seeing a lot more, maybe not all ages, but at the very least T-rated PG-13 stuff, which is great. And I love that stuff too. So
Yeah.
that's good to see.
What about you, Lug?
So
Where do I even go with this?
I mean, I think I remember that there seemed to be quite a spike in the conversation from this after a video from, who was it? Was it a Drink with Crazy or John Douglas? But yeah,
probably both of them. They've both been kind of talking about this lately. The Drink with Crazy one, actually, that was kind of taking the direction lately where he's been talking about the animosity between YouTubers and comic creators in general. He did touch on this a few months back. He did a video about talking about this exact topic, where he was kind of saying he was more asking a question than making a statement. He was saying, where are the people who are going to give me stuff that I can sit in front of my kids, that I don't have to like dodge the boobs and butts and everything to find out which ones I can put in front of them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think that might have been the one.
wait, who said that? Was this Drink with Crazy or somebody else?
Royce, in that video that where he was talking about the all ages content in Iron Age.
Oh, yeah.
Back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in the last week or two, the most of the conversation that I've seen from all the various circles that I'm connected to has been focused on the I don't even know what to put it, like content creator versus comic creator, how there's I mean, really, animosity is really the best word. How there's kind of an animosity between
the algorithm,
the people like
and all of that.
Yeah, all the people who are like covering Disney Plus content and Disney content and Warner Brothers content and talking about it like endlessly, but they don't cover alternatives. And so it's been like the point Royce made with that was talking about like how people don't really, if they're from one side or the other, they don't really understand the other side. Like everyone's kind of talking past each other, where like YouTubers, they are generally covering the stuff that they cover because that's what gets them views. Like if I did like I have a video that got a lot of views, and that video was not talking about like indie comics or my work or anything like that. It was talking about like Spider-Girl and Dragon Ball. So like those are, intellectual properties that are popular. That's why it got so many views. I mean, it was a good video, but it was also because it was about that content.
Yeah, but the difference is that video was a positive video, not a video about complaining about the mainstream.
Yeah, but it's really, really easy to get views complaining. Because like the point that I was making, there's so to catch you up, like if you weren't aware, and if you were, I don't know why you would be. So Drink with Crazy did a stream, not a stream. He did a video, and the video was it was titled "Hate Watchers Hate New Things," and he was talking about how people who make comics don't understand why YouTubers make endless, like it's like an endless cycle of reviewing She-Hulk and talking about how bad She-Hulk is, and then they talk about the next episode of She-Hulk, and then after She-Hulk they talk about Ant-Man Quantumania, and they keep complaining, but they don't actually say here's the alternative. And so the comic book creators get like embittered by this because they think, well, I'm making the alternative but no one is talking about it. But then like what they don't understand is that the YouTube creators, the people who make videos and everything, the reason why they're talking about it is because that is what gets them views. So like the point, so he made, it was a very good video and I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. And I left him
found it.
Yeah, I left him a book of a comment where I was talking about it from my perspective as someone who's like in the middle, because I'm a very small time YouTuber with a new channel. I'm a very small time comic book writer with one writing credit, so I'm kind of in the middle of both, and I know a lot of people on both sides of this. And the YouTubers make those videos because it gets them views, and because like there are a lot of people like I don't care about She-Hulk on Disney Plus, right? I don't care about Ahsoka or anything that they're doing because like I'm done with them. And I don't expect everybody else to do that. I know a lot of people who still watch the stuff, and I don't care. That's fine, but I'm done with it. So I'm not watching content about it. But there are a lot of people who really like She-Hulk and the character, and so when they watch the show, and it's that piece of shit, they get angry about it, and they want someone to be angry at it for them because it's a cathartic release. So it's really easy to get views by making fun of stuff that people are angry that it exists. And so like it's like they're going like in opposite directions. So the comic creators are like, we're making the alternative, and they don't understand why the YouTubers aren't talking about their stuff. The reason they're not talking about their stuff is because no one watches stuff about the alternatives. Like if you could do 1,000 independent comic book reviews, if you got 100 views on one of them, I would be shocked. And it's not because the comics aren't good, and it's not because the quality of the video is bad. It's just because people and the YouTube algorithm is not keyed in to independent comic reviews about the Superiors or Common America or whatever else. It just isn't a thing. So that's where there's a disconnect. So Royce was talking about that, and I left my 2 cents, and he did a stream talking about it. I did a video talking about the comment, and it's trying to figure out like, so what's at least the last couple of weeks, this has been the conversation we've been trying to figure out, like as a community, everyone's been kind of talking like, so what is the marriage? How do we make this coalesce? Like, so do we have someone who does reviews of all the Disney Plus stuff, and they talk about it, and then like in the last 5-15 minutes, whatever, they're like, but since X-Men sucks now, here's this something that's like X-Men that you should check out. Do they do that? I don't know. Like people have been saying maybe they should do that for a long time, but I don't know what the answer is. I do think that whoever figures out what the answer is, I think that they will be very successful, because there's a lot of people who seem to want that.
I think that
It's exactly what I'm
Bleeding
talking about,
Fool
Death Wish, that last
kind of-
comment.
What was that last comment?
Go ahead, Ron. Sorry about that. She said she tried giving indie comic reviews and no one cared, and that's exactly it. Nobody cares,
and no one cared. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying. My ISOM video looks like it's gotten over 300 reviews. Galactic Roads of Mayhem got over 200, and 2100 Samurai's got almost 100. But yeah, I'm still pretty tiny myself.
Right.
Trying some other new things on top of all that.
Okay, a good website that I think does kind of both is Bleeding Fool. Like Bleeding Fool has a monthly feature where they feature a bunch of indie comics. They have every single month, right? But they also talk about the mainstream quite a bit. About what Disney's doing this and Marvel's doing that, and and all of that. They talk about it, but they also feature independent projects constantly and consistently.
Yeah, to get a good fire, you need both kindling and logs.
True. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a good middle ground. Now, I used to complain about them not doing enough. All these YouTube channels not featuring in the indie creators. But I got to the point where, what's the point of complaining about it? I'm just going to do what I do and not get into that whole debate,
Well, I know that,
at least not publicly.
I know that he's got I don't know, it's weird because I listen to everybody, right? Like I listen to everybody. I listen to people that are borderline communist. I listen to people who are like right wing. I listen to everyone in between because I don't care. Like if they're talking about comic books, I just want to hear what they have to say. And like I can learn from whomever, right? So I know he's like controversial to some people, but Tyler Carpenter, the guy with the girl with the mega fist, the guy who writes those, he is constantly putting out hot takes and giving his 2 cents on everything. And you can take what he has to say or leave it. You might agree, you might disagree, but I think that one of the areas where he has a lot of wisdom, and I think he's made very good points, is talking about growing an audience. Because like, this is the thing, right? Whenever I've talked to people who have been successful either with YouTube or with comics, they don't have, like, so I ask them, hey, how did you succeed with this? How did you get an audience for this book or for your videos? Everyone has a different answer. And it's because everyone's path is different getting to that point where they have an audience. The path that Tyler took is different because he worked in marketing and he did a lot of stuff that was in that area before he started doing YouTube and drawing. That's different from like Nicholas Mueller, who does the Demon Hunter Raven, which is different from Luke Stone, which is different from Hojo, who did the Mythicals and had like a $12,000 campaign on his first campaign. Everyone has a different path getting where they've gotten there, but like, we do kind of largely have to figure out, like, it is up to us to figure it out. Like, is it going to be YouTube? Is it going to be TikTok? Is it going to be Twitter? Is it going to be an incredible campaign that just gets like the algorithm and Kickstarter going? If you're going through Kickstarter, do you have a book that would be better on Kickstarter versus Indiegogo according to your research and doing that research? It's complicated. Finding the answer to that is really tricky, but like, it is largely up to each person to figure out, okay, what's my path? How do I get there? Because there's not like one size fits all thing. There's a lot of people I've seen who have tried what's supposed to work, and then their campaign fails, and it doesn't even make it 1/5 of the way there. And it looks great, but it just, something that they did or didn't do just didn't click.
Yeah. There's no roadmap that you can follow. None.
Yeah. We're all in Jeeps.
No.
We're all just off-roading.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And when I launch, I'm just going to try to figure it out the best way I can.
Yeah. A lot of prep work, a lot of research and networking and all that stuff. I know that's all important, but like, it's still, I don't know, I feel like half of it is like, just some intangible it factor that some people have, some people don't. I don't know.
Yeah. And a lot of it is like people, and I know I've made some friends, through this whole journey that, are going to be a huge help and that I really appreciate and I really value the fact that they're my friend and that they can help me on my journey. So, and I've learned to be less of a jerk than I've been in the past. I've
heard that's helpful
quite a bit.
Well, I'm actually getting more arrogant. I'm doing in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I've learned to hold my tongue and not say things when I shouldn't say them, and just be more appreciative and just not take things so personally. And when people call me out on any of the BS, if I make mistakes, I just like, yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I handled that poorly. My apologies. Because I've struggled,
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just even starting
learn-
to find conflicts to be more and more boring, which is about the right attitude to have, I suppose.
Oh, I'm too small
no.
and not opinionated enough to start any fights yet. So far I'm coasting.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm good.
And I'll admit I've burned some bridges. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've paid for them. And now I'm just trying to rebuild the best way that I can, and I just got to pray that it works out.
So, to kind of go in that direction, I mean, I know the answers to the questions I'm going to ask, right? But rhetorically speaking, is Paragon Prime an all ages comic that's going to be the change that you want to see, Ron?
How'd you guess?
Just a hunch.
Okay, well, that's a good guess. I wasn't sure if we were gonna get it. So
Hey, Death Wish, if you want to back me for real, and no pressure, I'm not putting you on the spot. Go to fundmycomic.com, check out Out of Obscurity. We've got a real low tier. It's $10. You can get the digital. The book is 33 with shipping. It's going to be 90 pages, 8 different stories, all sorts of extra cool commentary. The old man that you see in the background here, super old guy, that's my story. That's in my anthology. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like Mr. Magoo meets One Punch Man, where this old dude is trying to shop and the store gets robbed. It's great. So you want to check it out. It's fantastic. It's very fun. Out of Obscurity, my first writing credit as a comic book writer, and it's with Arrow Comics. It's really cool. So check it out, and I would greatly appreciate you just giving it a look.
That kind of
or if
reminds
you're
me of
like-
the film He Never Died.
Or
You were saying, Ron,
you're
or?
like me, if you're like me and you're kind of a physical media kind of guy, you could back the physical tier, because I'm
True.
all about the physical tier. That's the one I backed. I'm like, I gotta get this comic in my hands and read it and feel the paper. That's how I am. But that's just me.
Right on. Oh man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
That-
thank you for your consideration, Death Wish. I appreciate it. But so Paragon Prime is going to be an all ages comic book, and you're going to try to alleviate what you think is lacking in the Iron Age, huh, Ron?
Right. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I think I would say the biggest influence for Paragon Prime, as far as tone, is Superman the Animated Series. Like that show had a huge effect on me, and that's just what I want to capture with Paragon Prime. So
man, I
if
love
you're a
that show.
fan,
I want more like that.
No.
yeah.
You see a need, you see a niche, you're fulfilling it.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so.
What's your what can you tell us about, like, when is everyone going to be introduced to Paragon Prime? When do we get our first taste of it? What's going on with Paragon Prime and the Prime?
Well,
are you calling it Primeverse? What are you calling it?
Okay, so the first Paragon Prime story that anybody's going to be reading is going to be in an anthology comic.
Okay.
With a
I know something about those.
Yeah, exactly. Out of Obscurity, it's an anthology comic. There you go.
There you go. It's all full circle.
I haven't been quite involved with one of those
called
yet.
It's called Tales to Aspire, and essentially it's an anthology about heroes, and it's pretty much all ages, the whole thing. And so I'm going to be doing it with the creator of Rebound, which is a really great comic inspired by Spider-Man comics from the 80s and 90s. And then there's another comic by I'm blanking on his name right now, but it's called Rizerman. And Rizerman,
Yeah.
right?
He's
And,
his character's in the Divine Anomaly series. Like, he's got a guest appearance in that with Demon Hunter Raven.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
along with Super Guy.
Oh, interesting. So that comic is really interesting because it's sort of inspired by things like Kamen Rider and anime like Speed Racer and
Nice.
like Cyborg 99 or Cyborg 009.
Oh, 009. Yeah. I've seen a few episodes of that.
It's got that kind of art style, that late 70s, early 80s anime kind of look.
It was really stylistic, like with the different kind of facial features and everything. Everyone was really distinct.
Yeah, it looks very cool, very unique. He showed me some pages, and it's looking like really, really great.
Nice.
And I think we're trying to get the creator of Data Cell to be the fourth story in that, because like I did a call out for like some female representation. Like, we need a female character. It'd be nice if we had. So he did reach out to me saying he's interested in adding his character into the anthology. All my pages are done. Like, I'm pretty much done with the Paragon Prime starter. Like, I want to launch the campaign in February if I could. That's the goal.
Cool. Are you gonna have you given thought to like? I mean, there's no wrong answer, and if you don't know, I don't care. It's fine. But I'm curious. Have you thought about what platform you want to use or platforms, or what are you going to do with that?
That I have to discuss with the other people. I don't know. I mean, I got three choices. I got Indiegogo, I got Kickstarter, and I got Fund My Comic, right?
Right.
So I don't know.
Not an
I don't know
obvious
which one.
choice.
Yeah, well, Fund My Comic is great, and they're amazing. But like, I know a lot of people are kind of doubling on, like, they do it on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, and then they also do it on Fund My Comic.
Yep.
That might be something we might do. I don't know.
Well, I mean, even Common America, they do Indiegogo and Kickstarter simultaneously, and like you said,
That's true.
I don't know
Yeah, but
how
you
many
need to be
people are doing.
absolutely huge to be
Oh well,
able to
yeah.
meet
I
the
mean,
goal
yes. I
for
mean,
both.
they just do
To
it.
be
I'm
able
not
to
saying
have
he should.
have
Right?
the
Yeah.
revenue split between two separate platforms. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
I
like I guess
wonder
like
too. Like if you did
ideally,
that,
sure, probably Fund My Comic, but of course the one caveat with that is that I've on a few occasions I have been seeing people saying they might have considered it, but they're kind of tired of just making new accounts for everything.
yeah.
Is that how
It'll
Fund My
probably only
Comic is?
take a minute, but some
Well,
people
Fund My Comic, you have one
just seems
account,
to
but
bug them.
if they're used to using Kickstarter, then they just might be like, I'll just do Kickstarter.
So is that how Fund My Comic is? You have to start a new account for every campaign you do, or
No,
Oh no,
just one account.
just use
He
it.
was talking about like if they're already using Indiegogo or Kickstarter, they may not want to make a new account on Fund My Comic when they're used to using Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
Yeah.
My goal is to have an account on every website on the internet, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, ideally, I'd like to go with that one. Apparently, that one takes a smaller cut of the revenue than the competition does. So that's certainly helps.
It's actually I think it's 2 to 3%, which is the lowest cut of any crowdfunding.
Dude, what?
website.
I thought it was 5.
No, it's 2 to 3. Yeah, they take far less than everybody else by like an enormous margin.
Yeah. I know, like on Discord, we were talking about that and how Fund My Comic is pretty great. Like, oh, it's really awesome.
The only thing that really, like, if it doesn't have like a built-in. Well, I mean, it's still building, but I don't know if it has a built-in audience. That's the way that Kickstarter, like, because if Kickstarter has a built-in audience that's looking for like titty books and stuff like that, right? Like there's a certain thing that Kickstarter's really into. They really like Cthulhu. They really like titty books. They really like not safe for work variant covers. Those things will get you money on Kickstarter, right? So there's a baked in audience in Kickstarter that is inclined towards that type of content. So like, I don't know if there's an audience that's quite figured out its identity yet on Fund My Comic. It's figuring it out. The Discord is amazing. Like everyone there has really great conversations. It's very active when it gets going. Lots of good talks and stuff like that. So it's a fantastic website. But I don't know if they know the audience there yet.
Yeah. What I really like about Fund My Comic Discord is that even when people disagree, there's no arguments or debates. Nobody gets pissed off at each other. It's really cordial. It's great, actually. It's really refreshing.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone there is really cool.
Like I was having conversations about, like, this whole all ages content, and everybody was great. We were having a nice discussion. I didn't agree with everybody, but everybody was really, really nice. I'm like, this is nice. Why can't Twitter be like this?
Because Twitter is the most adversarial website that has ever been designed.
Yeah,
That's
they had to cross it out.
That's clever. Yeah, no, it's like everything about it is like, and don't get me wrong, like I understand when people are like, well, I don't control anyone. No, you don't. That's true. You don't control anybody. But at the same time, I think that like when you quote retweet something, you are generally saying, hey, everyone that follows me, look at this jackass and go make fun of him. Generally, that's what a quote retweet is supposed to do.
Which is why the only way I quote retweet anybody is is for a positive thing, never a negative thing.
Oh yeah,
Never.
yeah. It's always, for me, it's always stuff like, this is so amazing, or go check this out, or this guy was so cool.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that, because I don't want to, like, I'm just not interested in dogpiling people. I'm not interested in starting a fight, because there's no advantage to it. Like, I mean, I guess there can be. There are people who literally make money off of drama clicks and drama whatever. I don't want to be that person. So I would
don't
rather
wanna be
just
that
be like,
Yeah.
yeah,
A lot of people
Yeah,
using
it's
it
not-
as just like a super
And the
reply.
thing is, though, that I kind of was that person
Aaron, what's up?
at one point.
Thanks for swinging in, man.
I know you both know that I was that person.
Look, man, I'm not calling you out in public, but if you want to say something about it, sure.
I mostly just try to.
I know
use
you both know
the-
that I was that person at some point.
Well,
No.
yeah, I'm aware. I am aware.
I was bad. I was so bad. I was.
You starting
I
fights
was
all
not
the time.
good.
You were very mad, very
was. I
mad
was
at the internet, very
all
mad
the
online.
time, I was pretty bitter. I was pretty toxic. I was pretty aggressive. And like I said earlier, I had to learn some very, very harsh lessons that just God just smacked me across the face. Like, what are you doing? Pretty much. But now I'm completely different. My Twitter is like done a complete 180. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but
I have. I think that you've gotten a lot better. Yeah, I think that you have taken some things to heart, which is great. But
I've seen it
I
too.
also, I mean, like, to be very candid though, I do think that a lot of that was facilitated by the fact that, like, certain people leaving your circle, I think it was a very harsh slap of reality that kind of snapped you
yeah,
out of where you were.
yeah, exactly. I purged some people and some things and websites and YouTube channels and all that stuff. So, and also I don't post as often. There could be days, 3 or 4 days, where I don't even go on Twitter at all. That's also very therapeutic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I haven't, I don't go on Twitter for like three days. On weekends, I don't go on Twitter much, honestly. On the weekends, like, no. The only reason I go on Twitter is because my job sucks and I gotta do something to break up the monotony of my soul-crushing day jobs.
I go for so I spend any time that I spend on Twitter or X, and that was very sweet of you to say, Death Wish. I'm sure he appreciates that. She said that you sound very wholesome, Ron.
Well, thank you.
Go ahead. Yeah. So I was just saying, the only reason I go on there is primarily to see what is being created by Iron Age people, Comicsgate people, independent creators, stuff like that. And I guess a little bit of news, but like most of the news is stuff that I don't, I just get it from like a neutral source. It's not like I'm really looking for a spin on anything. So I usually go there for that. And then there's a couple of meme accounts I follow that, I check on stuff like that. But really, I don't know. I see a lot of people, and I know that you know who I'm talking about, like the kind of people, Ron, that you see that are on there. And it's like, let this, like, well, we'll say My Adventures with Superman. That's been out, right? Like every day it's another tweet complaining about My Adventures with Superman. And like after the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, why are you still watching this show? Like all you do is complain about this show every day on this website. Like, why are you still watching it? Like, you secretly enjoy it and you just don't want to admit it, and you're saving face by saying, man, this is so terrible, I can't wait for the next one. Like, what's the point? Like, I don't know what the point is. Like, if you hate it, like, I would drive myself crazy watching stuff I hated all the time.
Yeah, like I could maybe understand content farming, something like that for YouTube, but if you're just tweeting about it, what's the point?
I don't know. Because like that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? He's not big enough and he doesn't have a blue check mark, so I know he's not making money off of it. So like what exactly is the point? Like if you're not making the, oh my god, this show's so bad videos on YouTube. Okay, so you're not making money off of it.
Well, Jared, you mentioned something about like them getting dopamine from people.
Well, yeah.
right? Like,
Like
oh
deep,
yeah,
like
yeah,
deep
I know
down,
it
I know that
sucks.
there are people who get like like a dopamine rush when they see a little so and so liked your, they like. I know that there are people who like they do that because of the attention, like they feel validated. It makes them feel warm fuzzies inside. Like I know that there are people like that. I can't say for certain if the people who I see doing that, like I don't know that person, but like I know there are people like that who are just, they just like the attention. So they get
Yeah.
on there and they're like, they get a bunch of people who follow them who also hate all the things that they hate, and then they all hate it together. And they all have a big hate off, and they all favorite each other's tweets
yeah,
about how much they hate it.
exactly. And I get it. Yeah, my adventures with Superman and She-Hulk and Rings of Power, they look like trash to me. And like I get like, yeah, they're not true to Tolkien. That's not really accurate representation of Superman or his rogues gallery. Yeah, that I get it, sure, but that's it. That's I'm not gonna watch it, and I'm not
So
gonna
tune
talk
out.
about it because I'm not watching
Yeah.
it. That's the end of that. I'm done.
Just tune out. Turn it off. Play a game. Read a book. Read a comic book. Watch a movie. Watch something else. Watch anything. Like you're not hurting for Superman content, man. Like there's a lot of Superman content if you want to watch some Superman. You don't have to go watching my Adventures with Superman.
You don't have to watch that show. There's plenty of good Superman stuff out there.
Yeah.
Comics, cartoons,
Or just go watch a different bad one. Just watch something different. Like just go, I don't know, branch out somewhere.
Yeah, you could do what I do, which when my Adventures with Superman was like, popular. What I did is I bought the Fleischer 1940 Superman cartoons on Blu-ray, and I watched those, and I posted about those occasionally on Twitter without mentioning my Adventures with Superman. I'm just like, this is good Superman, and that's it. I don't have to mention the other show to say this one was good.
Right.
Yeah. I can
man,
say
this show sucks.
Superman the Animated Series.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah. That's all it takes. Just the one time.
Yeah.
Man, this show sucks. I'm not gonna watch it.
Rings of Power sucks, sure. Okay, well, read the original books or watch the original movies by Peter Jackson. There you go.
Go play a game. Go play. There's good Lord of the Rings games at this point. Go play one of those.
Yeah.
Go read the books again.
Go
watch the movies again.
Right. So I don't understand that mentality of because it also makes you it makes you a bitter, hateful, just toxic person, I think.
Yeah, people get real mad about their favorite stuff, and I get it. Like I've said before to everybody who I've had this conversation with, like one of my favorite things in the world is Star Trek. I'm not a happy Star Trek fan, that, but like I don't watch it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I don't go and watch. I hate what they're doing with Star Trek. I'm gonna go watch Picard season 1. I hate it so much.
Jerry, you know what I'm doing? I'm watching the original series. That's what I do. I'll watch the original series, and it's great. I'm loving it. It's really, really well done. Leonard Nimoy as Spock is phenomenal in that
Absolutely.
show.
You know what surprises me about and I know that it's Star Trek. We're talking about a 1960s show, but just this, I'll leave it at that. It surprises me, like the quality from season 1 to 2 to 3. I was like, wow, this got really better in season 2 from 1. And then you watch season 3, like, wow, this got really, so they're really hitting their stride, and then the show gets canceled.
Yeah, I'm about like I just started season 3, so I'm like episode 6 or 7 of season 3 right now. But it's some solid stuff. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, they're not all the episodes are winners. There's a couple of like really that was.
Sure. I mean, that's
But
give me any show. Yeah.
But for the just like with any show, but for the most part, it's incredible. I mean, DeForest Kelly as Dr. McCoy, just freaking love him. He's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, there's then after that I'm gonna watch the animated series, and I'm gonna watch the movies, and then I'll probably watch Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine, and
Like
Voyager, and Enterprise,
sentimentally,
maybe
the next
maybe
gen is my
Enterprise.
favorite one. Sentimentally, but like as far as like my critical evaluation, the best one is DS9
By far, DS9
by
is the
far.
best
Yeah,
one in my opinion.
DS9 is just so good. Forget about it. TNG is like in
Yeah,
my heart. You know what I mean? TNG's in my heart. Picard and them and all their wonderful adventures in space. It's great. But DS9 has some just premium
DS9
science fiction
is
storytelling.
it really really is. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I love that show. Cisco and just every single character on that show is a strong character.
Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
one.
Even even Dax, when they kill off and bring back a new Dax, both Daxes are both good
Are
characters.
good.
Yeah,
And the thing
right.
is,
Like
though, that
how do
other
you even
Dax,
do that? That's
the other Dax
unfair.
yeah, it is. And that other Dax only had one season. One
Right?
season.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Hey, you're too good. You're too good at writing. That's why that's why the show had to end. They're too powerful.
Yeah, DS9 is just.
That's what I would like to see more in indie comics. I wish there was more science fiction stuff going on. Riff Riders was good. I liked Riff Riders a lot. But it's kind of like time travel / multi-dimensional travel. So it's not space like in the traditional sense. Like the first issue was like a whole universe disappeared, and they were trying to figure out like what caused a timeline, like a whole timeline was erased, and they were trying to figure out like what caused the timeline to erase. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say Doctor Who, but it was kind of like more multiverse time travel kind of stuff. It reminded me in a lot of ways like kind of like Chrono Trigger, where they're trying to figure out what happened and they're in a void and everything. But it was good. I like seeing science fiction comics. That's cool.
Yeah, I did give a shout out to Replicator in my last video.
Oh, I need to check that out then.
I mean, yeah.
Shout out to Luke Stone and Piper for Riff Riders, by the way.
One sci-fi comic that I enjoyed. It's funny. It just popped in my head was what was this? Sasquatch astronaut or something?
I don't know. That sounds crazy.
Yeah,
I need to know more.
Really cool, really wild, really out there. It was about this the Sasquatch who I forgot, who goes into outer space and gets mixed up in this crazy adventure with an alien princess and space pirates, and
oh man,
it's actually pretty fun. It was like a
great.
5-issue miniseries. I got all 5 issues. And I don't know if he's going to continue it or not, but it's a really fun comic. Sci-fi, science fiction, crazy action, very cool stuff. But yeah, I mean, we need more solid science fiction comics. You know what? And maybe that's partly my fault. Maybe I haven't checked out a lot of potentially good science fiction comics.
Yeah, I try to do a little of everything. Like just I guess my favorite is probably superheroes, but I mean, I try to check out everything. I've been back in a ton of different stuff to get a wide variety, some Westerns and some sci-fi here and there, and just a little of everything. There's one that was really cool, but it didn't do as well as I'd hoped. It was Sacrifice. It was the 4th issue, and I got issues 1 through 4. But it was really cool. It was like kind of religious. It played off of aspects of Christianity, and it was like this this baby that was going to be like, he was intended to be possessed by the devil, and then angels stopped the possession. So then he was working with angels to fight against demons, and it was really wild, but it was really cool. It reminded me a lot of like Devil May Cry and a lot of stuff like that. But he had such a hard time backing the 4th one that in like he got enough, but then a lot of the funding fell off for whatever reason. So he had to dip into like some savings account and had to go into the red a little bit to finish Fulfillment, which sucks. But to his credit though, he took care of his backers, and he actually made sure that they did get fulfilled. But at least the last that I saw that he was talking about it on Twitter, it was just kind of a bitter experience for him, and he was going to postpone any more issues, because I think he wanted to do 10, but he was going to just kind of hold off until he could reevaluate stuff and kind of recover financially from what happened, which that sucked. But it was an awesome little series. I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your project is a little, can you talk about
Yeah, I mean, I
What's it
can talk for days about anything you want. You know me, I can talk.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so the one that you're talking about is Project Seraphim. Project Seraphim is like, I mean, it's definitely got a biblical base, like a kind of like a pseudo religious Christian kind of base, but I base it off of Apocrypha, so it's like based off of biblical Apocrypha, so the Book of Enoch specifically, because it dealt with like
Mhm.
angels and the angels that fell from heaven because they were wanting to have children with the sons of men. So it led to the Nephilim, which are half angels, and that's kind of how I explain superpowers in this pseudo superhero, pseudo supernatural kind of world. And I think it's really cool. I think there's lots of fun stuff that's going to happen with it. And it has to do a lot with angels and the Nephilim, and how they kind of make this weird dysfunctional superpowered family. And there's a lot of stuff I want to do with it, but the tricky part has been trying to fit all the pieces together. So, because me, I'm the sole provider for my family, and I've got wife, kids, and mortgage and all that fun stuff. So bills to pay and all that, and so in my the spare money that I can find, I'm trying to put together the book, and it's trying to figure out, okay, how many pages do I want to do, like what's affordable? Because at one point we were trying to figure out, we were originally going to go with like 30, then we scaled it back and said, well, maybe we need to do like maybe more 24, 26, somewhere in there. And then, fill out some art pages to get it the right number for a comic. And so it's been back and forth, because we were trying to figure out, okay, do we do this many? Do we go higher? Do we go lower? What's affordable? What's feasible? Do I draw out the production time because I can afford it more if I do it little spurts, and like I take care of this much this year and take care of this much the next year, trying to find like that sweet spot where it can like feasibly happen. So lately we actually thought we were done with like a first issue at 25 pages, but then we had some people take a look at like do some test reading, and we want to change up some stuff on pacing. We had some ideas for taking content and putting it into like a digital release, so separating one of the subplots and making it a digital release on like Global Comics to go with a campaign, so we can say, hey, check this out for free, and if you like this, you can back the book, which is about this primary plot. So it's really trying to figure out the best approach to it, which is, it kind of goes back to that off-roading analogy that we made before, where we're trying to figure out like, what do we do with it? So I've got art assets, and I've got concept art, and I've got pages, and we're thinking, okay, so what order do we put the pages in? Do we take this out? Do we cut it over here? And trying to figure out the best way to do stuff, because I want to tell the story. And for me, it's not about making money. It's just about like telling the story. So how do I do that? And how do I tell the story? And the best way to do that is to fund it through people who want to read it. So it's really just about breaking even, so I can continue to make the next issue and the next chapter of the story, basically trying to figure out that sweet spot as far as pages versus expenses versus how much I think I can fundraise, which is why I've got the YouTube channel, trying to build up the biggest audience I can, because it's all about just trying to get that, maybe that 10%. But if that 10% is, of 200 versus 2,000, well, that's a lot more people if it's 10% of 2,000. So the more people that I can get eyes on my stuff, the better. And I hope that people will be interested in it. You can check out like a ton of the art assets and everything at the at Frost_comics. That's on X. There's lots of stuff there where you can check that out.
Yeah.
And, I'm really excited about it.
Jared's told me a lot about it. Showing me character concept art, and it all sounds like, that sounds awesome. That sounds like a comic that I would definitely want to read.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I look forward to when you get it all done, and you launch the campaign. And I plan to be one of the first backers when that happens. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
you're welcome. And I noticed a lot of like you're making a project like that. Shadow Sentry also has a lot of Judeo-Christian elements in the story, quite a bit. And I don't know, have you guys seen this project by Angel Studios called Gabriel and the Guardians?
I have been noticing that popping up.
I think I saw it. I didn't look in depth, but I did see it. I came across it.
Yeah, that looks really, really cool. Excited about
Back in
that.
my day, we had Bible Man.
But the same folks who Angel Studios are the ones who did Sound of Freedom, so they're responsible for so
Like, did you play the Bible Man computer game back in the day?
There was
Me?
a what?
There was a Bible Man computer game. It
This is the OG series of the anime.
yeah. It was a Bible Man computer game, and it was recorded, and it was like you as a choose your own adventure.
Wait, it was
Bible
an
Man
FMV
game.
type thing?
Yeah.
I got myself a Windows XP, and I just played a lot of Ultimate Doom.
Yeah. Respect. I'm just waiting for the Bible Man cinematic universe. When's that happening? When is that happening? Oh,
Just
man.
let
Live action
DreamWorks make
VeggieTales, right?
Let DreamWorks make a Bible cinematic universe. They got 2
there you go.
entries.
Oh, it'd be great. What were we talking about before I completely derailed that? Apologize for nothing.
Yeah, the prequel to the Prince of Egypt, Joseph, King of Dreams. I mean, it's technically a
There you
prequel,
go.
right?
Yeah, perfect. And they all come together, and it's the end times, and that's the final battle. That's the Avengers. That's the Avengers culmination. It all culminates in the rapture and the end times. It's like a big CGI battle against the Antichrist. Now we're talking. Ron, are you muted?
Well, biblically accurate angels started trending for a while. Someone gonna jump on that
biblically
bandwagon?
accurate angels. Those are horrifying. Until I saw like biblically accurate angels, I never understood why every single time they introduce themselves in the Bible, they say, "Hey, be not afraid." I get it now. I would need someone to say, "Don't be afraid," because I'd be like, "Oh my," I would freak out. Like 6,000 eyes on all of its wings, and yeah, I get it. It makes complete sense to me why they would say that. Oh
Yeah, I guess people just kind of expected to see some sort of Valentine's Day looking Cupid thing with a harp and a diaper, just being like, "Do not be afraid." But no,
It's
instead
like
you got these Cthulhu
beautiful
things
woman in the
instead.
flowing robe and no. It's got 4 faces, different animal, and it's on fire. Yeah, okay. Like, and it would be. I would imagine it had to be embarrassing, right? Like an angel shows up, and the first thing you do is just start swearing because you're freaked out. Yeah, that's got to be a bad look.
Oh, bad first impression.
Right? Exactly. That's just terrible. Terrible first impression. The first thing you do is asking for forgiveness. Look, I'm sorry. Sorry. You got 4 faces, 4 different animals. You're on fire. You got golden feet. I don't know what was happening. I'm sorry. There's lightning everywhere. It's just freaking me out, man. I'm so sorry. I think Ron's dead. Ron, are you dead? Are you okay, Ron?
He's probably consulting with his guardian angel to see what to do with us.
He's being visited by a biblically accurate angel right now, and he had to mute himself. I understand, Ron. You take all the
Yeah,
time
the
you need.
sound
buddy.
just the microphone cannot perceive the noises that it is making.
Exactly. It's all booming for certain. It's just, but you can't make anything else out.
Oh no, not another boom mic.
Another boom mic, man. Never getting rid of them. They're never going anywhere. Yeah. What have you been? You been backing anything lately? You got any comics that you're excited to see coming out?
Whew. Let's see. Well, I guess the first arc of The Girl with the Mega Fists is concluding.
Oh,
Common
nice, yeah.
America's second omnibus dropped in the mail recently, as did
Cool.
Crimson Wren.
Cool.
Gotten, let's see, 2100 Samurai issue 3. But what's still coming up? I guess I'm still waiting for things like Black Rhapsody.
Did you have you read because you got a digital file with Common America Volume 8. Have you read it yet, or is it going to be fresh for you?
Oh yeah, I have not read Volume 5 at all.
Really? Oh, okay. Wow.
I mean, everything's just been they're pumping everything out so fast. So it was like, yeah, you know what? I'll just to avoid clutter. I'm just gonna go with the omnibus releases for me.
That's a good idea. Now, if my wife ever wanted to ruin me, she
yeah.
could take a picture of the stack of comic books that I need to read, and just show that. I don't think she'll do that. I need her to never do that because it's growing. I keep I'm like, oh, I'll get to that eventually, and then it's on top of like the 6th thing, 7th thing, like that.
Yeah. Like
you're in for a ride though, my dude. Like
the smaller guys, I get them like issue by issue, but yeah, with something like Common America, they come out so fast. So I'm like, yeah, getting an entire omnibus from them can take about the same length of time a lot of the smaller ones take to just put out a single issue.
Yeah,
I'll go with this.
Dude.
About all I know is there's like this common unity villain maybe, and there's this, and Carly's getting in some kind of controversy.
Yeah,
I don't know much. I don't know much else.
Yeah,
I haven't dove in yet. It's in the box. It just came. But yeah, I've just been busy with a lot of other things.
There's some twists, man.
I figure I'll get to it when I'm further along in my Common America video, since that's what I'm covering next.
Nice. That's very cool. Yeah, I don't know. They somehow they get me every time. Like I feel like I'm either not paying close enough attention, or I forget stuff, or they're just. Or maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. But like I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Like, how did that happen? I can't believe they've done that like with at least every other volume with Common America, and they did it again with 8. So
yeah, you know how you can identify a Common America fan?
How's that?
With just one word: scarf.
That's right. That's right.
The scarf thing, that was pretty much Common America's equivalent to like Help Me from One Piece. That was their Help Me moment.
I added this on to my my last order. I got my there. What's up, Carly? Carly plush.
So tiny, looks like one of the Toho Fumo plushies.
Hang out back there with Shovel Knight. There we go. Her head can kind of vanish into the background. That's cool.
Well, it's mostly Shovel Knight.
It's mostly Shovel Knight. Yeah, but Shovel Knight's mostly in between the void.
It is. That's right. I can't really see your head. Now it's disappearing more.
Oh, yeah, no. Right. That's the problem, right? I'm trying to I got a green screen, like my lighting is all janky, so it's like it looks really good, and then over here it's like it's a tragedy. It's just a tragedy.
That'd explain it. That was bugging me so much with making those Serious Sam videos of mine. There are so many. There are just about every live action clip I used in those videos, I tried to as seamlessly as possible splice the videos where I had to like make multiple just copy the green screen footage and make multiple versions of that file with the chroma key effects applied slightly differently, and then just splice them together into a single shot made out of like 3 slightly different copies of the same footage, and just hope no one noticed.
Nice. Hey, but you found a way, right? That's what matters.
It's like you can see the splotchy bit 3 seconds
janky as it might be.
in this version of the shot, and then another splotch comes up like 7 seconds into this shot, and I have to try to figure out how to switch from one to the other without it being too obvious.
That's just the kind of the fun activities that you have in the editing room that no one really knows about, right? There he is.
Oh yeah, having to jump around between my house, a studio, a little mini public studio, my Power Director software,
can you hear me?
external iMovie software.
I can hear
Who's
you,
nuts?
Ron. Welcome back.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but anyway.
It's the curse.
So
The curse. Anyway, we were talking about the Bible Man cinematic universe.
Gotcha. I never
Just kidding.
saw Bible Man.
Just kidding. You pick up wherever you want. What the last thing that you heard? Just say whatever you want about it.
I never. Yeah, no, I did hear some of the Bible Man talk.
Okay, yeah.
I
Well, it was very
actually-
serious. So.
I never actually saw Bible Man. I knew.
What's
of
up,
it.
Cooper?
Fresh start.
What's up, Cooper? Thanks for swinging by, buddy.
Oh, hello. Yeah. Did the Ironsides campaign fund? I hope it did. I don't know.
No, but he's extending it. He's very, very dedicated to getting it funded. It's a community service. Anyone listening, if you haven't backed out of obscurity yet, you should go back it. But if you haven't backed out of obscurity yet and you want to back something else, you should go back community service, which is on Fund My Comic. Community service is by our most recent commenter there, the rabbit hole from S.A. Cooper. It's an amazingly cool reimagining of what Captain America should have been after the Hell Hydra controversy that happened a few years back, and Cooper is doing it right. So check it out. It looks awesome. Art looks great. He's got a great story. Give it a look if you haven't. It can only shill that harder. Extending through October. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, great.
I think he's about 1,500, 1,200, somewhere in there. So he's doing good. He just has a little bit further to go. Spread the word.
Well, I did back it that campaign as well.
Oh yeah, me too. Oh, he's adding another cover though. Did you hear? He's going to add another cover. So you might want to add that because he's trying to, it's another way that he can build up some revenue. I did the 2, so I'm going to add that third one. I think that the last that I heard, you could add the third cover for just $10 without any extra the shipping or anything.
All right, who's doing the third cover or the other cover?
The cover, I don't remember the name.
Okay.
I don't remember the name. I do remember what it looked like. It looked like a Norman Rockwell, but like it was a comic cover. It's like it was really cool.
Awesome.
It's really, really cool. So if it's not up on the Fund My Comic yet, it will be soon. You should check it out. It is amazingly cool looking. And $10 can't beat it.
I'm definitely gonna check it out. I did want to ask while he's here, is he offering the Ironsides and American Bliss as an art print, or because I'd love to have that as an art print. Actually,
I don't blame you. It is very cool.
Yeah,
Cooper, if you heard that question, just sound off in the chat, bro.
Yeah, because I'd love to see
There you go, Romo Art and Skunkworks. This is the artist that did the third cover. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, because it looks like a really solid project. And I had a conversation with him about it. I asked him a bunch of questions about the comic, and that's
yes, it's a
actually
print.
pretty cool.
Yes, it's a print.
Yes. Okay. Good. Good.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to check back to see if is that a stretch goal unlock or is that like an extra add-on? Because if it's an extra add-on, I might have to add it on. Aside from if the other variant cover.
This is
'cause,
real time chilling happening, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get this just anywhere. You have to come to this Lux channel.
Oh, finally finding my identity.
That's correct.
But
First 100.
yeah,
Nice.
there's
So you should
there's
be
a
good.
lot. There's a lot of great projects. I mean, like I recently backed. What was the last thing I backed? Well,
Thank you, Cooper.
Nexion. First 100, cool. That's awesome. Nexion, which is from a new friend of mine, Ashton Batiste, I think is his name. That comic looks really, really great. He hit his goal.
It does look cool though.
So
I agree.
I'm glad he hit his goal. Like he's
awesome.
going to go into fulfillment soon, which is pretty awesome.
Very nice.
What else did I back recently? Well, there's a couple of comics that I've been looking. I backed back in like 2021 and 2022.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Wraith
back
of
in-
God.
Oh yeah.
See how that turns
Oh,
out.
that I'm waiting for. Listen, the Dragon Guard. I'm waiting for Eternal Armor. I'm waiting for Doom. Not is it Doom Kickers? No, I forgot the name of it right now. Gunship Thunder Punch 2. And they're all like great looking books, and like I kind of like, oh, that's right, I haven't gotten these books yet, and which is good when I check the campaigns page, they they have recent updates, and like, okay, well that's all I really ask for. If it'd been like a year and a half since they updated, like, well, this project is dead, but no, it's not. So that's good. The Dragon Guard looks really cool, like very inspired by things like Thundercats and He-Man. It looks really, really awesome. That's one of the ones I'm most looking forward to.
Now that's one taking me back.
Yeah. What about you guys? What out of all the crowdfunded comics that you're looking forward to, name? I mean, it's hard to pin down which one you're most excited for. So I'll say maybe 3 apiece. Like, Jared, what 3 are you most looking forward to if you backed any recently?
All right, this is a cop-out answer, but I'm legitimately looking forward to Out of Obscurity because I haven't read anyone's books except for mine, anyone's stories except mine. So it's like 7 stories that I have not read yet that I'm excited to read. Like, so I'm that is legitimately one that I'm very excited about. And thank you for complimenting my beautiful hat, Cooper. I appreciate it. I'm also looking forward.
No, that doesn't count now.
That doesn't count. That's right. But that is serious answer. But so other than that, I am excited to get Immortal Rising. I am excited to. So I backed a bunch. I'm excited from. I would say Captain America 8, but I read the digital as soon as I got that because I was hyped for it. But I did recently get that too. I'm excited for Immortal Rising. And the last update he did, he got the printing back, so that's going out soon. I am very excited to see. I think Saving the World 10 was just going to print, and I like his sense of humor. He's got a good sense of humor. Yeah, I like those. And geez, a third one. Hang on. What have I backed? I backed so much stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to keep
Let's
track
go to
of
Fund My
much.
Comic. Let's go to Fund My Comic. Let's see what I've got back there. Let's see my contributions. Let's see what we got. Vigilante's Creed. Duh. So I don't know when he's got that coming out.
That is one that I'm meaning.
Yeah,
that is one
but
that
I'm
meaning to
very
back
excited
at
for it.
some point.
I backed, actually, this is based off of your recommendation. I did back the Shadow Sentry Second Chance that they did on Fund My Comic too.
Oh yeah. Shadow Sand.
And I'm
Yes.
Ariel Little Mermaid. I backed that one too. That looked funny, so I'm excited for that. That looked funny. I don't know. There's a bunch of cool stuff that's coming. Like I don't know. I'm just a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. What about you? Which ones are you looking forward to?
I guess I'm currently waiting for things like Spearhead Zero, Wraith of God, Reaper Destroyer,
Yeah.
Black Rhapsody. Give a lot of things a chance with their first issues.
Spearhead had some issues, didn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing with any comics. You're kind of rolling the dice.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
and I don't mean this to disparage either of the two creators that were involved with it, but they had a nasty falling out, and there were some issues as far as like the funds and where the funds went, and different. I think that last update that I saw, there was some dispute about which version was the actual final version that was going to print. Well, I asked them on one of the talk pages, what does this mean for the IP? Who does it belong to? What does it mean for everything going ahead? They didn't get an answer, and I don't hold that against them. I mean, he may not have an answer, but that really saw some turmoil over the last couple months.
Oh, geez. Wow. Yeah.
It looked good. I backed
thing
it
is
too,
about
Lugs.
Right. Yeah, and there's been some books that I was really looking forward to, really psyched for, and then I got them and I read them. I was like, I didn't really like that as much as I wanted to, and that happens, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I ended up with like one of those after it was getting highly recommended. I don't know, might might not be right to just call out names right now, but pretty
Wasn't I,
much
Tom?
no.
I'm kidding.
But like there was this one title that looked awesome. Like it had such the premise was almost like the prologue of Goblin Slayer stretched out into an entire series where like
That sounds
you got like a
amazing.
bunch
Really?
you got like a bunch of these great warriors who wander into a cave and then they're sealed behind and the only way they can get out is to fight all the way through. Like, okay, this sounds cool. And then I get the book and it turns out that's like one of like 20 different plots and it only lasts for like 3 pages. And it tries to chuck like 50 characters at you all at once in just non-stop switching between settings and characters. I'm like, I have no idea what is even happening anymore. This is not quite what you said it was going to be.
Boo.
Yeah. That's happened a few times with some books. It's part of the risk you take when you're backing an independent comic. It is what it is. I don't really sweat it too much. I'm like, oh well, that wasn't as good as I expected it. But whatever. Maybe the next comic I'll read, I'll love. So
Well, I mean, it's just like, I mean, it's just like buying a mainstream comic. It's just more expensive, right? Because you like,
yeah.
did you guys see? I just happened it happened to fall into my inbox this morning. Someone sent me Zach's Richard Myers review of Wonder Woman 1. Dude, that looks like the art was amazing, right? But the story was just the hottest garbage. I can't believe someone wrote that. And it was like it was Tom King, I think, wrote it. The stupidest story. Like that review, I was laughing and also like it bothered me that art that good was on such a trash story. So like if you bought that, if I bought that, I'd be pissed off, right? But it's a lot cheaper because it's DC. You know, they can afford to make it a lot cheaper versus like an indie comic where it's like, maybe $15-20. You might be disappointed, but like I would still rather like Like if I'm disappointed from an indie comic, I'd rather them get the money than being disappointed by like DC and Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
DC
that's
giving them
actually how I feel as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, like I've seen a lot of those. Look at how bad this writing is. Look at how bad this writing is. Look what DC did. Look what the Marvel did. And the thing is, though, like I noticed, like, am I supposed to be shocked and surprised that it's this bad? If I see it consistently a lot, then nothing's gonna shock me anymore. Yeah, it's
I
that
would say
bad.
no, but there are some that are so bad that I almost cringe. Like the what if Miles Morales was Thor thing was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. That was horrifyingly stupid. Like I don't know, like it somehow transcended like into this unique sort of like singularity of racism. Like I don't know, like I felt uncomfortable reading it. Like you're not allowed to say this about black people anymore. I thought like it seems like really racist. What is this? It was horrifying. Like that was
I mean, well,
genuinely
the thing is, though,
surprising to me.
Yeah, people
they
keep reading that.
out. The thing is, DC and Marvel keep outdoing themselves. Just when you think it can't get any worse, they make it worse.
Yeah, it's scraping out a new level underneath the barrel.
Yeah, like
it's like, oh,
Tom King is the devil.
yeah, like remember how things started crumbling with like what was it, the probably either the second or third issue of what was it, like the United States of Captain America or something.
Yeah.
they had a Native American one, they had a homosexual one, they had I forgot what it was. They had a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, it was the Filipino one that was getting utterly roasted by Filipinos because of the absolute clownish name they picked for her.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like I told Animane, and so anyone who doesn't know, Animane's black, shocker. But I told Animane, like I said, dude, if I was trying to deliberately be racist, I would be less racist than this book. Like I couldn't ascend to this level of racism that was in the Miles Morales Thor book. And it is just so casually written by that guy. I don't know.
I
Blew me away.
remember seeing videos he made about Nubia, and then what was the other one? Like Starfire's daughter or something. The obese. Those were really funny.
The self-insert
Those were
fanfic Starfire. Yeah. Fat dumpy Starfire's daughter, written by a fat dumpy woman. Amazing.
Yeah. So let me ask you, as far as who's worse right now, DC or Marvel? I think they're about neck and neck, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, I don't think I could genuinely, like, I don't think I could honestly tell you, because like I like I said, I don't really follow any of it. It happened like someone sent it to me, and no one ever sends me this stuff, but someone sent it to me and said, I can't believe this is real. That's how I saw the Wonder Woman thing. So like, I mean, yeah, like I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is real either. That shocked me. But like, I guess this is par for the course. Like, I guess this is just what they produce now. Right. They just start digging. Like, apparently, yes, it can, and it will get worse.
Oh. Yeah, apparently so. They can always.
I don't know. I don't know which is worse. What do you think is worse? Like, I could tell you maybe like, I think that I think
just
right
keep
now,
digging down. Eventually, you'll find Pandemonium.
The film, I think Marvel's films are worse probably right now, because like where DC has the opportunity with a clean slate to start over, so it might not suck as bad. Marvel is like a continual spiral of suck, just like drilling down into the bedrock of the planet. So DC is at least a question mark. So I think their films might be better off right now.
Well,
as far as comics, I have no idea.
The thing with DC is that, I mean, they I mean, in my opinion, they were never that good. I mean, at least recently, like you know, Man of Steel, just that was not a good start. So it was never to the point where the MCU was before, where it was good.
I mean, they've always sucked. Like but what I mean is like Marvel had 10. again, this is my hot take on Marvel movies. I don't really talk about it that often. They had 10 really good years. Then you started to see the cracks right around Black Panther going into Captain Marvel, going into Endgame. Like you started to see some of the cracks there. But Endgame was a mess. Like Endgame was not a good movie.
Phase 4 is around somewhere
So
around phase 3.
I liked Endgame for what it was and what they were trying to do, but like objectively, it's not a very good film, right? But like right after Endgame, everything just nosedives. Like it drops off a cliff. Like as far as like the quality of writing, the consistency of writing, and remembering their own world building, they completely forgot everything. So it falls off a cliff, and they've just like straight down since then. Again, like personal feelings of Spider-Man aside, the only good film was No Way Home. Everything else has been complete crap. They have produced nothing good. All the TV shows have sucked. All the films have sucked. So Marvel is just straight down. DC has never been good. They haven't really had any good films. Again, my 2 cents. I know that they're like Jared from comics. I can't remember but he's a big Snyder fan, and we disagree, and that's cool. I don't care that he likes it, but like he likes it. I would disagree. I think they've never been good films from DC, right? So that doesn't matter now because they've been wiped. They're gone. They're done. Everything is now going to be under the direction of James Gunn. So what will it suck? Yeah, probably, but it might not because no one knows. Like there's a big question mark on it. So I think right now DC's films are in better shape because we have no idea what the quality is going to be like. It could suck, but it could be good. I doubt it, but it could be.
So they have the advantage of just us not knowing what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. We have no idea at this point. We have no idea at all what.
I guess the way it feels to me right now, it's like Marvel is just standing there in quicksand and is making no effort to get out, and DC is just a headless chicken running around frantically.
That is exactly the case. They really don't know what to do, but they are desperately trying to figure out. Yeah, I don't think that.
I would say.
I don't think that they. Yeah, I don't think that they really ever had a good film. I have
Aquaman and Joker. I like those, but that's probably.
I liked Joker for what it was, but it was very disconnected from everything else that they were doing. Which was another thing that's kind of odd.
It was apparently, as I understand, it actually started out as an original project, and they later attached it to the Batman mythos.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's interesting, though. I can see that, though. I could see that happening.
I'm
kind of wary. I was gonna say I'm kind of wary about them the sequel because I don't know how that. I don't know about the Lady Gaga Harley Quinn thing.
I'm feeling nothing with this either of these sequels.
Yeah,
like the first two were awesome enough for me to get in 4K discs, but the sequels are just like, oh yeah, those exist. Maybe I'll just go watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish again.
Right on.
I didn't hate the first Wonder Woman. I guess
I liked it until the ending. I did like it until the ending. I thought the ending was a little rushed.
Yeah, it does kind of like contradict the theming it was building up.
Yeah, it does.
It was cool, but it doesn't really mesh with what you were establishing before.
Like I really liked all the fish out of water stuff, the going to war stuff. I liked that. I liked her genuine shock that when she killed the bad guy, the war kept going. Like all that was really good. And then they were like, well, just kidding. It was really Ares all along anyway. They just completely threw away their own theme, like you said. It was just like, well, that's weird.
Was that Matt a last-minute rewrite? Like, I'm not sure what might have happened in production, but that certainly feels like a last-minute rewrite, but I don't know for certain.
It really kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I didn't even bother watching Wonder Woman 84. I'm like, I'm not even bothering.
Yeah, it felt like. So the reason I didn't even give it a chance, I'm going off of memory, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I believe I remember the director or somebody else saying, this is our answer to Trumpism and something. I was just like, okay, I don't care. If you're going to make it a political thing, then whatever. I'm done. I don't, you're not getting my ticket.
Well, fellas, I am gonna go now. I'm pretty tired. Had a long day, so
Oh, thank you for joining us.
I'm gonna.
Thank you for joining us. I say like pretending I'm the host. I'm the
I have been
unofficial
pretty
co-host tonight.
go with the flow mostly with all this so far.
I
I
will.
don't know.
You know
Everyone
what
just
I'll say.
brings in all kinds of things that seem interesting they want to talk about, and I know both of you have been working on some stellar looking creations. You got a way
Thank you.
bigger head start past me. I'm still just in the re-editing phase of a script.
It's not a bad place to be, dude. It gets scary the further along you get.
Yeah, trust me. All right, you guys have a good night.
Take it easy, Ron.
All right, bye.
Lug, you want to wrap up, man, or you want to keep going a few minutes?
All right, yeah, you want to like show what you're working on here, because yeah, like he's working on his Paragon Prime, and you have something to show, I imagine.
Well, like I said, right now I'm all in on Out of Obscurity, so I will send that link to you, and you can bring that up if you would feel so inclined. I would love to let everyone kind of take a look at it, and I'll tell you a little bit about the stories that we have in there. Because, like I said, I'm genuinely excited about everything in there. Because of the ones that are in the book, I have only contributed one, so I will be reading about everything else the first time when I get my copy. I'll tell you a little bit about the background of the book and everything too. So Out of Obscurity started because we had a group of guys that were all in a group chat, and one of the person who put together the group chat, he got very upset with other people in the chat, and he had a bit of a meltdown, and he kind of threw a fit, and we were all left in there like saying, what the heck, what happened? And so what we did, instead of letting it get us down, we decided, hey, let's do something fun. Let's do something positive. Let's make a comic book. And we did a theme of choosing public domain characters that we wanted to kind of bring back out of obscurity, which is where the name comes from. So we looked at all the different characters in public domain. I picked Super Guy, who was a part of Charlton Press, Charlton Premiere number 3. There's the only issue he was ever in. He was actually part of their entire pantheon of superheroes. Those are the people who brought you like the original Blue Beetle and everything. And then DC Comics bought them, but since they own Superman, they were like, well, we don't need Super Guy, so they just let him fall into public domain. So that's where he stayed. So my idea with him was thinking, okay, well, let's assume that he was like 30 years old or so back in 1967, whenever this one issue he was in. Then let's instead of doing a time skip, let's just say the dude's like 85 now, and so he just wants to save money. He wants to go shop on Senior Citizen Discount Day. The store gets robbed, and shenanigans ensue. And so, like, my inspirations were kind of stuff like one of my favorite shorts from the MCU was A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer, where you got Agent Coulson in the convenience store. That's a big inspiration for the story. And then, like I said, One Punch Man, of like the mundane aspect of shopping, the Tick, where he's an old man, but he's still wearing his costume, so all that stuff is where I drew inspiration for mine. We also have the original Ghost Rider, which was kind of like a reverse Scooby-Doo, where like the original Ghost Rider was a dude that would use tricks to hunt outlaws. So it was like I said, it is like an inverted way of looking at like the Scooby-Doo formula. We've got the son of Tarzan, Korak. He's got a story. We've got the Puritan. We've got the Tower Time Forgot, which has this really cool sort of like manga art style. We've got Thunder Horse. We've got there's just a ton of cool stuff. We've got the original Daredevil, who he fell into public domain. The original Daredevil that was like all crazy looking and everything before Marvel revamped him and everything. So it's a lot of really cool stuff in there from 8 different people, 8 different teams, and it's awesome, man. It was super fun to work on, and it was just great. It was like my first time working with like an artist, and going back and forth on the script, and I got to learn a lot of stuff with it. It was just an amazing project.
Yeah, I have been seeing some of that kind of work being done. Like, let's see, I guess correct me if I'm wrong, but that kind of public domain revival stuff.
Yeah.
Is that the case with like Terror in the Trenches, Red Bee,
Well, it's
and Black
the
Owl?
biggest one I can think of is think of Winnie the Pooh Demon Hunter, right?
Oh yeah.
Where you had Demon Hunter Raven, you had Nicholas, and he's like, oh man, Pooh, he's like public domain now. I can do something cool with it. And so he takes the whole 100 Acre Woods and he like revamps it and has this whole new presentation and everything. So yeah, we've seen a real resurgence with public domain stuff in the last couple of years.
But yeah, like stuff like that in Little Mermaid, that's a bit of a different category that goes deliberately off brand. I guess I was referring more to those that just kind of stay on brand, so to speak.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true too. Yeah, for sure. You're right about that.
Because yeah, that's actually a project I have in the plans myself. There is something in public domain I have been wanting to work on for the last year or so. It's something I was introduced to as a little kid, and frankly, it could use a nice comic. But one thing at a time. I've got an original project of my own. I'm writing, and that I have been getting editing consultations on with Animane. But the plan
shout out to Animane. He is the man.
But yeah, the plan is next is this all ages, largely episodic, particular, on brand public domain work.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Any hints?
Some very ancient folklore.
Ooh.
Some kind of fable kind of stuff.
Cool. I'll wait to learn more.
But yeah, I guess should we
let's play that trailer.
Have a look at this.
Yeah.
Here.
Get ready for an exhilarating journey into the boundless world of imagination. Welcome, comic book enthusiasts, to the extraordinary realm of Out of Obscurity. This groundbreaking anthology, published by Arrow Comics, unveils a legion of aspiring creators, each eager to leave their mark on the industry. Prepare to be captivated as they breathe new life into obscure public domain characters, creating their own unique tales within the pages of this awe-inspiring collection. Out of Obscurity is a testament to the unwavering passion and creative prowess of these emerging talents. They have meticulously resurrected forgotten heroes and heroines, spinning intricate yarns that span the ages. Brace yourself for action-packed battles, mind-bending mysteries, and heartwarming triumphs that will transport you to uncharted territories of excitement. By supporting our Fund My Comic campaign, you become an essential part of this historic endeavor. Together, we can catapult these aspiring creators towards their dreams of comic book glory. Join us on this epic odyssey and witness the birth of new legends. Your generous contributions will not only help us bring Out of Obscurity to life, but also grant you access to exclusive rewards, including remarkable artwork, signed copies, and behind-the-scene glimpses. Embrace the spirit of adventure, for within these pages, untold wonders await. Together, let us ignite the spark of greatness within these visionary talents and redefine the landscape of the comic book universe. Be a part of history and make Out of Obscurity a reality.
That is
wow, I've got so much going through my head now. Where do I start?
That is the I'll say that monkey is the Arrow Comics mascot.
A reality.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. Who the heck is this monkey?
And the cool thing is he's going to introduce every story dressed up as the protagonist from each story. So there is a super guy cosplay picture of Spank that's floating around on Twitter right now. I'll have to send your way. This is actually the first comic book ever written by RJ from Critical Blast. He's written other stuff before, but this is his first time writing a comic book, and he's doing The Clock Strikes.
I'm just like, how many ages did it take to make this background?
I apparently he worked very, very quickly. That was drawn by Jose Garcia, was the artist for Tower Time Forgot. And he's I think this is the first time he's ever done something that was kind of cyberpunky. So it was something really new and different for him. But it looks like the art looks awesome, so I'm excited to read that one too. But I'm excited to read all of them. Like every time that I saw someone provide an update, I was like, "Ooh, that looks cool! Oh, ooh, that looks cool! Oh, I want to read that one! Ooh, that one looks really neat!" You know. So now I'm like, well, I just want the whole book. So.
Oh man, but then like this looks like more of a Ghost Rider than the Ghost Rider everyone knows.
Yeah, right.
So this looks more ghostly and is more of a rider instead of the
Yeah, that
zombie
one seems
driver
awesome.
that we more associate with the name.
Exactly. Yeah, that one looks amazing. The art looks great. The colors are great. There's a different colorist on a lot of the different stories too. So like Luke Stone is doing the colors for the clock, and so he showed it on one of his streams. I can't do it justice trying to describe it, but the way that he did the colors was like he did, like, you see the dots, like he tried to recreate the sort of like printing methods that you would have seen back during the original clock run, when it was first being published. And he even went so far as to detail like stains in it on specific parts, so it would look like when it was being taken off of the rollers and transferred. It was extremely cool. Like the thing he's doing with the colors is amazing on that.
Oh man, I wonder if I might need that kind of shading.
Luke Stone's your guy if you do.
I mean, I do have something meant to be stylized in the works.
Nice.
We'll see. The visual style hasn't been completely locked in. It's still a script. I know. This name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
So he's still alive. He never died.
Never will. Actually, I'm proud to say he is the cover boy. So the glove that you see coming out of the dirt is the Super Guy glove. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Our cover boy right there.
So not Homelander or something.
No. I don't know for sure what his power scaling would be, but I'm pretty sure he would whoop Homelander's ass. I think he would, old school style. I'm just gonna say that anyway. I'm gonna roll with it. This one's cool. Bronze Terror. I don't know how exactly he's going to do it, but Justin Sweet, he's the writer for this one. He's also the writer behind Chrome Dog, and I don't know how he's going to do it, but I know that he's going to actually combine this in, like, roll it into the Chrome Dog universe somehow. So that actually, in some capacity, will tie together, which is really cool.
I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but my immediate thoughts go to Turok and the Matrix.
Maybe that is what's happening here. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't read the script, so I'm not sure.
What else we got? Oh, this sounds so familiar. Like where have I heard this?
Solomon Kane, the Puritan.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I could think, like, is it? No, that's Van Helsing. Who? Oh, there we go. And we got a Korok seed.
The meanest one, unfortunately. This is the one that you don't want to throw around. They'll step on you.
Oh no. All right, you tried to step in it, well, they'll step in you.
Right, exactly. And this one was written by Hojo, who was in the chat a little bit earlier. The writer behind the Mythicals. This was actually going to be his first credit, but then just because long story short, Luke was working on this as the project manager at the same time he was working on Fund My Comic. Fund My Comic took precedent, obviously, so he was finishing that up. This fell behind a little bit, and then Hojo ended up finishing up Mythicals and getting that out first. So Mythicals was actually his first credit, and this kind of came behind that. So it'll be Mythicals, and then this is his next book, and then Mythicals 2 is coming up next.
Okay.
Mhm.
Clock strikes. Yeah, that's them. So yeah, I guess that is another thing I'm starting to notice more. There's more of these anthologies. Yeah, there's this here. There's Tales to Aspire. I think that's what Ron was talking about. There's also Anvil coming along.
Yeah. Anvil's been huge, very successful. And I mean, it's a great way to get people out there, and let people see what someone can do without them having to do an entire, 20, 30, 40, 50 page book on their own.
I wonder if I should attach any such thing to one of these anthologies. I mean, I've had
Couldn't
so
hurt.
much that's just been accumulating in my head that I could just kept like drawing concept art for over the years. Now I'm finally just not dawdling around, and I'm actually writing stuff now. So we'll see what happens. I didn't get started as early as I probably should have, but at least I have a lot of planned material to work with here.
Exactly. And hey, there's really no time limit on this. Cooper, Rabbit Hole, his community service, and he's older. I'm closer to 40 than I want to admit. There's a lot of people who are they're old, they're further on in life and they're not starting early. But like Stan Lee, I think, and Jack Kirby and them, they didn't really have a whole lot to their name until they were in their late 30s or early 40s. So I mean, there's no time, there's no real time where you have to start. It's just whenever it works for you. And if you've got it, then you got it.
And then you look at Colonel Sanders.
There you go. Then you look at Colonel Sanders. I don't know, man. I think that just all the people that, we were all pretty content. A lot of people like me and Cooper and everybody, we were pretty content to just kind of leave things as it was and just keep, enjoying the stuff that we'd been enjoying for years, the X-Men and the Spider-Man and all the stuff that we'd all been enjoying. And then they took it from us, really, and they kind of made it into propaganda instead of making it about stories. And we were like, well, it's like Thanos said, fine, I'm going to do it myself. We just hit a point where we're like, we want to tell these stories because no one's telling the stories we want to read anymore or watch. And so somebody's got to do it. Why not us,
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm wanting to get more in on.
Definitely, man.
I'm just like, I made essentially newspaper style comic strips with stick figures when I was a kid.
Right.
Teen years, I was making web comics on Smack Jeeves, starting from a Sonic sprite comic and working my way
Nice.
to an original kind of manga looking thing that I could never seem to stay on model. But it was good practice. But yeah, I'm in a weird kind of purgatorial state. I guess. Like, I'm not jumping into this blind. I'm not in the dark. I, in a sense, have years of experience, but it's all amateur experience. I haven't tackled something quite on this level, but I'm gonna catch up to you guys one day.
That's right.
But yeah, everyone seems to be you all definitely showed you've got some making your own contributions, all ages or otherwise.
I think anyone can definitely read Super Guy. I don't know how interested they're going to be unless they find the old man funny, but definitely anyone can read Super Guy, whether they're young or old. So
yeah, finding solutions has definitely been a lot more satisfying, more fulfilling than complaining about problems.
Definitely.
I didn't quite fall into that rabbit hole of making that kind of content, and I'm kind of glad that I just found something more positive ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the way to do it. Like, it's just, you're gonna have more fun, you're gonna be a happier person. And I mean, even though it might be more costly because you got to pay to do something. If you can't draw, like I can't draw, you got to pay an artist. But at the end of the day, when I look at Super Guy, when I look at those panels, like, that's because I wrote that, which is crazy. You know, like, it's crazy to think that you brought it to life in some capacity. You drew it, you wrote it, you did something that made it real. And that's an amazingly cool feeling. And you don't get that from just complaining about my adventures with Superman on Twitter for the 60th time.
Yeah, you're definitely onto something here. Man, what do I want to read? I mean, I don't have much info on these going in. Mostly knowing about Super Old Guy, but I'm not seeing anything here that's like necessarily, yeah, I don't care. Like, all of these have some kind of intrigue here. Where do Oh yeah, this campaign's still going.
Yeah, we got 7 days left. We've got it going until the end of the month. And we actually closed in August, but we had a couple people reached out and they said, "Oh, I really meant to back that," or my card got declined or something like that. And so they enough people actually came back and asked us to reopen it so they could make sure that they got it, because once this one's done, it's done. They want to do kind of an out of obscurity every couple years maybe, but each volume is just going to be the only one. So after this one closes, it won't be available on the Arrow store. I will have copies that I can sell to people at like conventions or local comic book stores, because that's what we're doing. It's really just about getting us out there as creators. So rather than getting paid, we're not making any money off of this. Everything that we make is going to print books. So we're printing books to send to fulfillment, and then any extra money we're using to print books that we will have that we can sell or give out and different things to just do promotion.
Yeah, because I suppose some eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed, I guess I am one of those. I have not created an account on Fund My Comic. I think this will probably be the one that pulls me in now.
I hope so, man. And if you do, I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Because, I mean, 50 people, I can't believe 50 people have backed it. If we had 50 people that have been like, yes, I want this. And that's an awesome feeling. And I appreciate every single person. And I just for looking at it, I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you giving me some time here tonight.
Yeah, I like giving a lot of new things and new people a chance here. It's definitely a lot better than just throwing my money at what seemed the normal thing 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you do pick it up, let me know what you think of Super Guy, because if I get enough people who like Super Guy, I'm going to totally go forward and start writing Super Guy issues. So I would love to make him a thing.
Yeah, I think I should. All of these look interesting. What we got here? Yeah, Super Guy, Ghost Rider.
There's some more art if you want to scroll down too on the campaign there. So I think it mostly shows the stuff that's in the video, but you can see like maybe it might be higher res that you might be able to zoom in on. I'm not sure. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, I think it's mostly the same ones, but yeah, you can see the panels, the full pages.
Yeah. Word textless on some, textful in others.
Yeah, it depended on who
This-
had what done when we were putting everything together.
Man, I kind of want to like. Yes, I can zoom.
Nice.
Kind of want to take a textless version of this and put it on my phone.
That would look really cool. The talk to Immortal Rising, Aaron. I have no idea if he has anything like that, but he's the man to talk to. He's the creator behind that one. So he might have something like that. You can reach out to him. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know, but yeah, he's his art with Jose Garcia, and I think they were the same people who put together Immortal Rising, which just printed. So that's the team. He's the man. It's at Immortal Rising 1 on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, man, if that almost looks like that could have been the cover if this came standalone.
Right? It looks that good.
There's our cosplay monkey.
Yes.
Shirts too. Yes. Okay. That is something I want now.
Awesome. Happy to hear that, brother.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about all this. Everyone's bringing something cool to the table.
There you go. Well, we've been going for a little over 2 hours. I should probably go ahead and head off myself, but I really appreciate you having me on tonight. I've had a lot of fun. It's been a great stream, and I can't thank you enough for just giving me some time. I really appreciate the platform, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I love seeing all the creativity going around here. I need more of this.
Exactly.
And like,
Hey, we're
I
gonna have to do it again soon, man.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were working on at first, and well, now I do. I could see some cool images. It was like, bring him in. I want to hear from his own words. What is all this?
There you go. Hey, thank you again. I really appreciate it, man.
All right. Glad I got to have you then.
Absolutely. So thank you again. And to anyone still in chat, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a blast. Thank you for being active. And Lug, again, I appreciate you, man. And we'll have to do it again soon. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Night, everybody.
Okay. Well, I'll have to cut this stream off. And I'm also going to have to get this done. Absolutely. I'll go and go ahead and create my account and get back to y'all and see how it all turned out. All right. Let's contribute.